And we're live. Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 17 of this series. Actually, before that, welcome back to Melting the Ice, my podcast where we talk about melting away our insecurities, we melt away our limitations, the things that are holding us back, and then we emerge as the best versions of ourselves. Welcome to Melting the Ice. I hope you're having an amazing day. It's very sunny here today where I live. So I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're happy. Today's episode 17 of the She Wins Anyway series. A series where we reign no matter what. Where we learn to reign despite the rain. We get to understand that no matter what happens in our lives, we get to reign and we get to be sovereign empresses no matter what. So grab your water. I have mine right here. I'm going to take a sip. Grab your water. Grab your teas, whatever you need, grab it. As you can see from the title, today we're talking about how to build without followers. How to build without followers. So if you're here, I'm assuming you want to build something, and for that I want to start with one word. Congratulations. You want to build something, you want to make the world a better place. Congratulations for wanting to create something. And you feel like you don't have followers yet, you're starting at zero. Right now, as I'm recording this live, I have no one here with me. And for some people, that could be very frustrating, that can be very daunting. But I want to teach you how to no longer let such things bother you. How to move beyond that. How to rise beyond these feelings, beyond these things that are normal, right? How do you build without followers? How do you build without followers? Do you have an idea? You just build. You just start. You just start. Building without followers seems so hard, but the core of it is just to start. And the reason why we're so afraid to start is one thing, because we don't want to suck. We don't want to be seen as the person who is creating out there, the person who is doing all these things, and the person who is creating and literally has no followers. The person who seems to be building and has no followers. You know, when you create something and then it's from the world, from the point of view, from the perspective of the world, it seems like no one is liking what you're doing because you don't have the thousands of likes, you don't have the thousands of comments, you don't have people validating what you're doing, right? And that can be clearly seen in the public eye because, you know, your metrics are there. You don't have the applause, right? So from the world view, it seems like you are failing. From the world view, it seems like you're failing. And that's from the world view. It seems like you're failing, right? And it's easier to say, you know what? Rather than being seen as a failure from the worldview, and again, who even decided these things? Rather than being seen as a failure from the worldview, I would rather just not do it. I would rather just give up. Give up so that I don't have to deal with this rejection. I don't have to deal with putting something out there, putting my whole heart into something. Putting my whole heart into something and then receive nothing. Okay? You're so afraid of how you're going to be received that you don't want to start because you are going by the worldview. Every time you feel like you're so afraid to start something because you don't know how they're going to see you, you're afraid of this rejection you're going to get, you're afraid of not being thrown flowers, you're afraid of being the person that has videos with 1 view, with 0 views online. And I have a video now that has 0 views on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure of the title, but that video has 1 or 0 views right now, right? And you are afraid of being that person that has a video that has a content or that has multiple contents that have 0 views. You are terrified of that. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Why does it make sense? Because you're in the worldview. Anytime you make a decision, and that decision can honestly be a feeling. That decision can also be a thought. Anytime you make a decision to think or to feel from the standpoint, from the perspective of the worldview, you decide to think and to feel from the perspective of the worldview, you are going to feel rejected. You're going to feel defeated before you even start. You're going to feel defeated before you even start. Now you're asking me, human, but everything you're saying now, how is it relevant? It's very relevant because you want to be with our followers, but to be with our followers, you need to be firm in your faith. You need to be standing on solid ground, and the perspective of the worldview is not solid ground. I'm sure you've heard this saying before: building castles in the sand. Whenever you're trying to build with our followers or you want to start something new, and you're standing in the eye of the worldview, you're trying to build from there. You're building a castle in the sand, and it can seem like you're doing something, but then sooner than later you always crumble because your foundation was not firm. So you want to be with our followers and you still want to trust God. If you want to be with our followers and you want to trust God and you want to trust the divine while you're on that journey, then you cannot be in the worldview. You have to shift. You have to leave the worldview and you have to go to God's view. You have to go to God's view. And what does God's view look like? What does God's view look like? Certainly not the worldview. It's a whole different perspective. It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different world. Because the metrics that the worldview deems as successful God's view just uses it as whatever. It's like how is a success? Who knows? Something that is successful in the worldview today can be unsuccessful according to God's view. Because the worldview does not have longevity. The worldview does not have longevity. As you know, people trend today, tomorrow nothing. Things change so fast. People change their opinions so fast. So fast, I'm telling you. But yet, you want to build a business, you want to build something from the worldview. You're building on sand. It's going to crumble at some point. And not only that, people change their minds so much. You want to build something and you're thinking, what would they like? Instead of thinking, what is my purpose? What can I offer? Okay, first of all, what is my mission? Right? Asking yourself, what's my mission? What do I desire to change in the world? And then starting from there, you know, say, okay, this X is my mission, and I want to do X. I want to do this one, or whatever it is you want to do. But when you're going for the worldview, you're thinking, what would they like? And people change so fast. It's very fickle. It's very fickle. You will twist yourself into pretzels. You will keep changing yourself because this worldview is not stable. They can like you today and not like you tomorrow. And that is perfectly fine. But if you're not grounded and anchored into what really matters, this will mess with your mental health. Because one day, let's wait here. One day you'll be really high. You'll be really high and happy. Next day, you're going to come all the way down. All the way down. Next day, high, all the way down. Next day, high, all the way down. And back and forth. And this will be your mental health. Very drastic and very this is not very healthy. Because you're grounding yourself in the worldview. So if you want to be with our followers and you really feel shame around that, you're feeling like starting from zero, having no followers, creating things that no one is liking, creating things that you think it's not really having the desired effects you wanted. and you have shame around that. That shame should tell you very clearly that you are standing in the worldview perspective. That shame should tell you clearly that you are in the worldview. You're in the worldview because you're having all these feelings. You feel like you have to be something that you're not because so that you can be liked. Because now your your main intention is no longer to create that change you wanted to create. Your main intention is no longer to that value. It's no longer that purpose, that shift you wanted to make in the world. It's no longer having your purpose and now serving whoever might need that purpose. It's now to just have more views, have more followers. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more views and followers. There's nothing wrong. Wanting more views, more followers, more likes, nothing wrong with any of those things. Okay? But it can be extremely damaging. Extremely damaging. Like this. When you're doing it because you think it's adding something to your value. When you want those things because you think having those things will add something to you don't have yet. When you think having those things will give you something that you don't have yet. When you think having those things will make you a better person, having those things will upgrade you, having those things will make you more worthy. This will be your mental health right here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. That will be you. Because you think the likes, the followers, all those things will give you things that, you don't have yet. That's a lie. And that is still being anchored, being grounded in the worldview. So how about you uproot yourself from the worldview? Do you think you can uproot yourself from this worldview? I have an accent, by the way. Do you think you can uproot yourself from this worldview? Do you think you can do that? Yes or no? Because you have to decide today. Because building without followers and trusting God's plan is all based on that single decision. It's all based on the single decision of whether or not you're going to uproot yourself from this worldview. So I'm going to give you a few seconds right now. If you're watching this video on replay, as I'm sure most of you are, because right now it's just me and God in this live session and I'm loving it. If you're ready to uproot, pause the video, go down in the comment section and type uproot. Type hashtag uproot. So I know that you're making a decision to uproot yourself. Also, you typing hashtag uproot is sending a signal to you, to God, that you're ready to no longer be tied to the worldview. That you're ready to make a huge shift. You're ready to make a massive change in who you are and how you see yourself. Because you no longer want to build your castles in the sand. You want to build castles that will last generations. Not castles that the day there's 0 likes, it crumbles. The day there's thousands of likes, you build the castle again. The day there's 0 likes, it crumbles. No. You don't want to be doing this to your mental health. This exactly. You deserve to be more stable. But that's only if you want to. That's only if you decide to do that. And that is purely based on whether or not you're going to decide to uproot yourself from this worldview perspective. Because you've been in there for so long. And if you're rooted in that, right? If you're rooted, ROOTED, you're rooted in that worldview, it means that you've grown your roots in that soil. Your roots are now deep into the soil of the worldview, right? You've been taking nourishment from the worldview, meaning that you've been deriving your worthiness. You've been deriving your worthiness from external things. And earlier I mentioned some of them. Likes, followers, subscribers. You've been deriving your worthiness from those things. Okay? And those things have been nourishing you. Okay? And that feels good. And now to decide to uproot yourself from those things, you can feel very brutal. Okay? You can feel very violent, very aggressive. Very harsh. Because now part of you will be thinking, if I leave the worldview, what will my nourishment, new man? If I leave this world, I'm so tied to this. I'm so tied to how many followers I have. I'm so tied to all of these things. If I leave this, what will nourish me instead? What will fill me up with life? How will I keep going? How will I keep on going? It's so interesting because what you've been doing, it's only a habit. It's a habit. Okay? And habits change over time. So even this journey of wanting to uproot yourself is going to have to be a process. For every single day, you're going to have to decide to go to the different side, to do something different. And if you've noticed, when people have habits that they want to stop doing, let's say a person wants to, I don't know, stop smoking, for example, they're gonna give them this fake cigarettes. I think I've seen people have them. They'll give them. I think I've seen they'll give them chewing gum or something. They'll give them the chewing gum to replace the cigarette, right? Because if you stop doing something and you don't replace it with something good for you, you're going to feel a vacuum in the vacuum in a hole. And human nature will make you want to fill that vacuum in a hole with things. And usually those things will be very unhealthy. Those things will not be good for you. Which is why before you uproot yourself, if you decide to uproot yourself, go down below and type hashtag uproot. So I know you know, God knows, the universe knows that you're ready to uproot yourself from this system. So you're ready to build without followers. You're ready to follow the plan that God has for you. You're ready to be born as a person. Sorry, not to be born, you're really born. You're ready to live your life as the person you were born to be. You're ready to be the best version of yourself, to live out your purpose, to live out the life that you were born to live, to claim your inheritance on earth as God's child. But you have to decide first. The first step is to decide to uproot yourself. And now that you decided to uproot yourself, I'm sure if you're still watching this video right now, it's because you have decided to hashtag uproot yourself, right? So you've made decisions right now. Now I'll tell you something. When a person stops doing something, like I mentioned earlier with the cigarettes, they will replace the cigarettes and they'll give them gum. So if you uproot yourself and you don't have something better, most likely you uproot yourself and you'll find something worse to replace that thing with. Which is why now that you uproot yourself from the worldview, you're going to plant yourself in God's view. You're going to plant yourself in God's view. Okay? Planting plant yourself in God's view. And that's going to take time. You're going to have to be patient. When you plant something new in the soil, it takes time for that thing, that seed, that plant, that fruit, that tree to really grow its roots deep into the soil. That will take time. That will take time. Now the question I have for you is that a journey you're willing to take? Is that a journey you're willing to make? Are you willing to face that discomfort of having to grow deep, having to grow new roots into a different soil? That'll be more nourishing for you in the long term. Because when you're in God's view, the things that people will see as successful, you'll be like, those are very nice, yes. The things people will see as failures, like putting yourself out there and having zero views, not having the accolades that you want to have. You'll no longer need those things. Those things will feel nice, like I mentioned. Those things are not bad things. They're not bad things. But when you need them, that is where they can become toxic. When you need them, it means that when you need them, you're saying that if I don't have these likes, these followers, these subscribers, I will not be okay. When you're saying you need them. When you're saying, and needing them is a worldview, of course. Needing them is a worldview. And when you say you desire them, like they'll be nice. They'll be nice to have. You don't hate them. You're not delusional. You're a real person, right? Who desires to grow and, of course, for others to appreciate your work. Very natural desires, very normal, very nice, right? So when you have the desires to actually also have the likes, the comments, the followers, everything, they're not needs. They're not needs. Like the way you need to eat and drink water, they're not needs. They're not wants. And the interesting thing with your wants is that your wants can happen. And it's beautiful, lovely, amazing. You'll be so happy. And even if your wants don't happen, you have what you need already. Because what you need, the ultimate thing you need, is God's presence in your life. The ultimate thing you need is the support of your Creator. The support of your Creator. That's the ultimate thing you need. The support of your Creator. The ultimate thing you need. Not all those things. The likes, subscribers, etc. Those are lovely, amazing, so nice. But when you need them, you're putting yourself in a mental prison, in a jail. You're putting yourself in the worldview. And the worldview, like I mentioned very earlier, will have your mental health like this, up, down, up, down, up, down. Because you are putting your happiness on conditions. Conditions that you have 1,000 likes on this video. Conditions that you have 10,000 subscribers. Conditions that you have, I don't know, that you sell like a million copy of your new book. Those are all conditions. Now, those things by themselves are not bad, they are neutral. But it's how you relate to them that dictates how you feel and how you build with our followers, if you're actually able to build with our followers. Because building with our followers in a way that will feel nice, in a way that will not mess up your mental health, in a way that will nourish you and nourish others as well, it requires to be grounded in the right place. It requires to be growing in the right soil. So right now, if you've been growing in the soil that's not good for you, in the worldview soil, when you're nourished, like when you're nourished from validation, when you're nourished from others giving you attention, that's your nourishment. Attention and validation is your nourishment here. Okay? And attention and validation is your nourishment in the worldview. And I myself, I understand because I've been there. So I understand exactly how you feel. Okay? And attention. And then now you want to be nourished by soil that says confirmation and choosing. By who? By God. Confirmation and choosing. And at first, when you just make the switch from that soil, validation, attention, to the soil of confirmation and choosing, it won't feel good. It'll feel very uncomfortable. Not because this soil of confirmation and choosing is bad, but because you're already used to something. Right? If you grew up in a country that was eating like a type of food, for example, I'll use me as an example. I'm Cameroonian, right? And in Cameroon, we have lots of delicious dishes. I believe we have the most delicious food in the whole wide world in Cameroon. If you eat our food, for example, I grew up there, right? So I love the dishes so much. Now, some of the dishes might be acquired taste, right? And now, let's say you are from a different culture. By the way, everyone is welcome here. You're from a different culture, and now you're here. And now I offer you something from Cameroon that maybe might just be, very different from anything you've had before. Let's say a very different plant, a very different root, seasonings you've never been exposed to before, flavors you never even knew existed, flavor your taste buds have never encountered. You can either like it or hate it. Most likely it will be extreme. You either love it or you're gonna hate it. Okay, not because something is bad with the food, but because it's new to you. Because the food is very new to you. Because you're not accustomed to that food. Because you don't have the taste bud, you're not used to it, right? So the same way how when you leave the worldview where you were planted in now, and I told you to uproot yourself from that soil, uproot yourself from that worldview, and plant yourself in God's view. When you plant yourself in God's view, where the nourishment is confirmation and choosing are in the soil, you feel very uncomfortable. You would think something is wrong. You would think you're making a mistake. And you have to trust that this will feel nourishing when you unlearn the patterns of the worldview. Just because you uprooted yourself from the worldview, it doesn't mean that you've forgotten everything. No, because the worldview nourishment is what grew you to this big. If you're a plant and you got this big, you grew this big in the worldview. So the whole thing that you are made up, what made you grow like this to this size was the worldview. So of course it's in your DNA. It will take some time. It will take time and patience for that to change. You have to plant yourself in the God view and extend your root deep in that soil for a long time before you'll be able to be changed completely. It's not going to happen overnight though. It will take patience. It will take time. It will take decision. Not one time, multiple times. There's a saying, I don't know who said it, but this person was asked how he was able to quit smoking, for example. And I don't smoke. I'm just giving examples, things I've heard. And I think the story is very meaningful. And he was asked, how did you quit smoking? And he said it was very easy. I just had to quit every single day. I think that is so powerful. Because we think we have to quit something one day and then that's it. We think all we have to do is decide, oh, I'm done. I'm going to uproot myself from the worldview and that's it. No. You're going to have to decide that every single day on this journey, you're going to uproot different parts of yourself in the worldview. And it'll be deeper than you can even imagine. It'll be deeper than you can even ever think of. It'll be very deep. But every single day you have to decide that I'm going to uproot myself from the worldview. And every single day you also decide to plan deeper into God's view. To plan deeper into what God says about you, about who you are, about the reason you're even doing this business, about the reason why you want to build with our followers. Why are you starting this thing? Why do you want to build? What is your reason? Is that reason based on need or is that reason based on needs that are not tied to the real you? Like, have you put conditions before you're okay to do this business? Conditions like I told you earlier, likes, comments, people validating you, people telling you that, oh yeah, you're doing a great job, right? If you need those things, you're not gonna be able to keep you won't be able to keep going. You simply won't be able to keep going. Because one day those people might get busy with life. Those people one day might just get busy doing something on their own, living their own life. And then what now? What now? Because now you decided to need those things from them when they're no longer able to give it to you, now it's a problem. Now you feel bad. Now you feel the shame. Don't wait until that happens. It has happened to you. It's okay. If it has happened, I repeat, it's okay. You can still do the same thing. You can uproot yourself and you can plant yourself back into God's view, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. If you feel like, man, I need some help on this, I have something called crowned codes. Crowned like a crown, and then codes. It's an 11-day coronation journey. It's free. Every single day, you unlearn a lie. It is so deep for me. You unmask that lie and you really begin to see how it was playing out in your life, how it was tripping you up. And I suggest that when you unlearn that lie, you ask yourself a question every single day of the journey. What other lies am I holding on to? So take that lie. Let's say you're doing day 1, for example. We're going to do an example right here. Let's say you're doing day 1, for example. And the lie for day 1 is, if I'm not seen, I don't matter. If I'm not seen, I don't matter, which is so relevant to what we're doing today. If I'm not seen, I don't matter. And you're going to write that lie on a piece of paper. And actually, you're going to do that lie. Yeah, write that lie on paper. I don't matter if I'm not seen. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to do the work. So here we have the unmasking. We unmask it together. It's free, link down below. And when you sign up, it might end up in your junk or spam. So just check that out. If you don't find it in your main mail, check it in those. We're going to have the revelation where we're going to reveal to you what it was behind the lie, the truth behind that lie, right? Then we're going to actually help you remember the real crown, help you to remember the crown code, the crown that is helping you, that will actually help you understand and never believe this lie again. Then we're going to have the Empress move, something to help you take the action directly, right? To completely counteract, to completely shift from this energy of what you're feeling. Then we're going to have the root blessing to seal everything together, right? So like I told you, you get your crown code, it's free, link down below. You write down the lie. Today's lie, like I told you, this is day 1. It says, if I'm not seen, I don't matter. If I'm not seen, I don't matter. You write it down at the top of the paper. Just write it down, top here. Then you ask yourself, you read it over and over again. You ask yourself, what other lies am I holding on in my heart? What other lies are hiding there that are creating a life I'm not proud of? That are helping? What other lies are grounding me in the world's view and not in God's view? What other lies are making me nourish myself from the world's view nourishment instead of the God's view nourishment? So you're gonna write those lies. That will help you so much. And this journey is an 11-day journey where each day you unlearn, each day you unmask, each day you have a revelation, you ground deeper. And if you do the work that's in this book for free, I'm telling you, and then you do the exercise, I'm telling you right now. So you do both of them. The exercise I'm telling you right now about writing that lie and then writing all the lies are also making you ground yourself in the world's view and not the God's view. Write it down, do that work. I promise you by the 11th day, you're going to start showing up fully as the Empress you're born to be. And this ebook you get to keep for you. It's yours forever and ever and ever Okay, so when you get it, make sure you download it because it might not always be free. Maybe next year, 2 years from now, I'll make it a paid offer. So download it and keep it for yourself. That way, whenever you feel like you're having doubts in the world and you feel like you're being weighed down because you're beginning to believe the lies, you're beginning to nourish yourself from nourishment that was never from, in fact, not even nourishment, from poisonous nourishment the world is giving you, like validation, attention, and all the other ones, likes, followers, all those things. You can go back to your crown coronation, your crown code, the coronation, 11 days, and you can do those 11 days all over again, and you can shift, you can shed, and you can reign no matter what because that's your birthright as an empress. It should feel like, yo man, you know what? That sounds so exciting. Ah, and that's free, yo man. How can you be so generous and so kind? I know. But you're like, I want change right now. I want an instant change. I'm like, instant? You're like, yeah, human. I want instant. I'm like, okay. I have crown activation for you. Crown activation, link down below. It's a very affordable course where you pretty much learn a technique that can get you the result of 11 days instantly. But here's the catch though. You do it over and over again. It's a very short technique and you can do it among other people too. You can be among others and just be doing the exercises that I teach you in crown activation. And you'll notice that the parts of you that ask questions like, oh my god, if I don't have followers, am I worthy? That's the things like I'm not seen, I don't matter. Those lies become your allies. How nice would it be? How nice, just tell me honestly. If I had someone here, people here in the live, or that asked you to honestly drop down your thoughts in the live chat, but I'm by myself here and I'm going to enjoy the whole process anyways. So how nice would it be if the things that are tripping you up, the things that are making you feel like you're not really worthy of starting because you don't have the followers, those voices in your head, how nice would it be if they could become your allies? If they could become your friends, how nice would that be? How fun will it be? They could become your cheerleader. Wouldn't life become so easy and fun? Wouldn't life be just way more nourishing, way more fun, way more nice? If that could be the case, if that could happen? And that is just one click away. You can start to build the life of your dreams. You don't have to wait anymore. I waited 10 years. In fact, more. I know that since I was a child, I knew I was born for clarity. I was always pretending. I didn't know how to start. And I was using that as an excuse. I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to start. Start with what you've been doing. I used to speak to people, speak to them, and they'll tell me, oh my gosh, yo man, like how do you know what to tell me all the time? How is it that when I talk to you, I always feel like you knew exactly what to tell me? And yet I didn't know where to start. So now here I am starting, sharing my voice, sharing my gift. Whether it helps someone today, tomorrow, or in 1,000 years, like I always say, that is not my problem. My own assignment is to show up, and I'm doing that now. But are you showing up though? You want to build this thing. You have this vision. You want to build this thing. Are you showing up for yourself? I'm not here giving you a free resource and a whole ebook that can literally change your life because it change your perspective. It can help you shift from world's view to God's view. And what? You're going to let that pass away? You're not going to take advantage of that resource? Why? 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 You deserve better than this. You deserve better. If you're here today and you're hearing this offer, it was for you. Maybe I even made the whole thing for you. I don't know. But you can only find out when you get the ebook yourself. Or if you feel like you are ready for more, you're like, you know what, that 11 days sounds nice, but I want both. I want the crown coronation. I want the crown code, 11-day coronation, the free offer, and I want crown activation. By the way, if you buy crown activation, you don't have to click the link down below to download the crown code because in the course dashboard of crown activation, in the course dashboard of crown activation, I have the PDF, the whole PDF book of crown. Of crown codes in the course dashboard for crown activation. Okay, I feel much better now. Thank God. As I was saying, if you buy crown activation, I have the no, it's not a link. I have the whole ebook in the course dashboard. But if you feel like you already know what I want to start with crown coronation, the free offer, and because you gave me everything for 11 days, I want to just start with that. But if you feel like I want to just go fast, I want everything, I want the most powerful, potent thing right now. I want the download, I want everything, human. You want to be in crown activation. You want to be in crown because the way I break down these lies, you will never see yourself the same ever again. I repeat, you will never see yourself the same ever again. Ever again. And it will be yours, so you can go back to it over and over again. And it's very short, meaning that you don't have to watch a 10-hour course to remember everything. You can just go watch it an hour and 20, 10 to 10. I think about an hour and 20 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. And you can just keep going back to it over and over again. And remember the crown. Because it's your birthright, literally. It's really your birthright. You want to trust God, but yet you're tying your value to the views. You want to trust God, but yet you're putting conditions on your happiness. You're putting conditions on your purpose. You're saying, God, if I don't get 1,000 views, I won't do it again. And yet you want to trust God with your business. How is that trusting God when you're literally in the worldview? How is it trusting God? It's not. It's grounding yourself in the worldview after you've promised now, but you promised me earlier that you were going to uproot yourself from that worldview. And the crown coronation, the crown codes, the free coronation, crown activation can help you make that uproot, can help you make it seamless, can help you uproot yourself from that place and ground yourself into God's view. And remember your crowns and know that you were born to be the empress, that you are an empress and that you're not a peasant, you're not a victim, you're empowered. You can make decisions, you can make your own decisions. So what will you decide today? What will you choose today? Are you going to let this date go by again and complain about being afraid of building without followers when I've given you solutions right now that is free and another one is paid for a very low offer, link down below? Or do you want to keep complaining about how you're afraid to be without followers, how you have a massive gift inside of you, but then you don't know what to do about it? What are you doing right now? You're learning, which is amazing, but you need to go deeper. You have to go deeper, right? So because we want to see your gift. I believe that empresses get to reign over multiple things in their life. I love seeing women or people own their crowns. Or men, own their crowns. But for women, it makes me extra happy. Own your crown. Own your crown. I want to see you win. I want to see you glow. I want to see you flourish. What will you decide today? You want to start to build without followers? I have a course called Zero Views Fully Crowned, my very first course. It's called Zero Views Fully Crowned, where we learn to be fully crowned without any views. Right now, I'm in this live. I have 0 people in the live chat. No one in the live chat, just me. Just me and God. Just me and God. But I'm fully crowned because why? The views, all those things are so nice. Like I said, they're so nice. And I myself, I desire those things too. But I don't need them. I haven't placed my happiness on those things. I don't have condition that I have to have X, Y, and Z before I am fully crowned. Fully crowned is my birthright. If you want to be fully crowned, despite the outcome, despite what it looks like, despite your metrics, you want to be in Zero Views Fully Crowned. That course is so affordable too. Link down below. And there, you learn to laugh. You learn to laugh like you never laughed before. You learn to reign. You learn to invoice. Charge for your magic. Even though you have 0 followers, even though you have 0 audience, you learn to do it anyways. Wouldn't it be nice if you felt like if you learn to laugh, to reign, and to start charging even before you had an audience? If you had that courage, that boldness to do so, wouldn't that be so nice? Like you don't have to, like you're not by yourself. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to start from 0, start from scratch. You are starting from 0 though, and that's a magical place to be. But you have support. You have God. You have me here. You have support. I don't want you to leave here today without making a decision. Decide. What are you going to do? Decide. You've come so far into this video. 39 minutes of your time that you've invested into this, into yourself. So don't leave here without deciding. You must uproot yourself from that worldview. You want to build a business with 0 views. And even if you have 1 billion views and you feel like, man, I have so many views, but my sense of worth is still tied very heavily to my views. It's still tied to the fact that I need those things. I need the likes. I need all those things. You want to be in 0 views fully crowned. Link down below. 0 views fully crowned. Because even when you're 0 views, Even when you had zero views, zero sales, zero likes, zero whatever, you get to be fully crowned. Because zero is not the end. Zero is a container. It's a container that holds everything that was. What is and what will be. That is number zero. Zero is the most magical number in the whole universe, in the whole world. And I believe that if God had to be a number, he will be zero. Because God was the beginning. Before there was nothing. That was God. So why do you rebuke zero so much? Fall in love with zero. I always say this in my post, by the way. I write posts every single day. Read those. Though I have a lot of gems in there too. I also have shorts where every single day I give crown codes, which are codes, daily codes to reign and to live your best life. So check this out, So you want to be in zero peacefully crowned. Zero is not the end. If God had to be a number, God will be zero. So why do you big zero? I kind of lost my train of thought, but I remembered. I remembered now what I was going to say, and I want to say that. Here's what I was going to say. That I love zero so much that I want to have zero tea parties. I want to have zero tea parties with you. Whether you're at zero, whether you're at billion, come to zero tea parties. When we learn to understand that, even if the scenario of your life, where you're starting at zero, it could be marriage, it could be business, it could be, I don't know, wanting to have kids, it could be anything, right? We get to have zero tea parties because when you have a zero, that is just the beginning. That is when you're going to have the most massive expansion. Like right now, I have zero people here. There'll come a day when I'll have thousands in this life with me. And people will look back at these videos and say, wow, human was giving everything. Everything. Even when she had zero people in her lives, she was giving everything. But now she has 1,000 people and she's still giving everything. Because she's not tying what she gives to how many people are watching. She's tying what she gives to God, to her purpose, to being true to who she is and who she was made to be. Because why? She's not in the world view, she's in God's view. And every single day she's planting herself deeper to God, to confirmation, to being chosen and not validation and not attention. Not those things, no. But it takes time, it takes a decision to uproot yourself. So how will you uproot yourself today? How will you uproot yourself today? How will you uproot yourself today? What will you do? Start somewhere. I don't know what you're going to decide. I don't know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. I don't know you, but I want to know you though. I want you to comment down below and tell me, who you are. I want to know more about you. How you found my channel. Everything. Tell me. Tell me that you're deciding to uproot yourself. That you're done with this. You're done complaining about how you want to build. Every single day you want to build. But I'm giving you a free offer. I'm giving you crown activation for a very affordable price. And you're saying no to yourself for whatever reasons. No. You can't do that anymore. You want to start charging for your magic, but you're afraid of charging. You're afraid of laughing. Like you feel anxious around coming online. You feel anxious around being yourself. You want to be in zero views fully crowned. You feel anxious about having zero views. When it's the beginning, it's the most beautiful thing that could ever happen to you. Starting at zero. Zero is magical. Zero is beautiful. Let's have zero tea parties. That way we can inspire other women too. They'll see us celebrating the areas where we have zero. It could be zero sales. It could be zero book sales. It could be zero, zero views, zero people in my live chat, zero anything. We're having zero tea parties because we understand that when you have zero, that is when you're going to have the most expansion. If you know what you have, if you know where you are, you're set up you are in a place of expansion. You're in a place of divine blessings, divine alignment when you're at zero. And when we do that, and I hope you come at those parties too, when we do that, other women around us will be like, oh my God, those women are crazy. Are they having zero tea parties? Yes, we are, girl. Yes, we are. Bring out your drink now, okay? Literally, cheers. Cheers to zero views and feeling fully crowned. Cheers to zero in any area of your life. Cheers to that multiplying to infinity. Cheers to that zero growing beyond your wildest dreams. Because that is zero. The zero can become a billion in a day. Zero can expand into beyond what you can even imagine. Right? There are many stories where there was nothing, and that nothing became something in the Bible. Right? So do not rebuke your zero. Embrace a zero. Enjoy your zero. Be grateful for that zero and make a decision. Decide. How will you uproot yourself today? How will you go to God's view? And live and leave the world view and go to God's view. How are you going to do that today? How are you going to do that today? How will you make it happen? Start somewhere. Whether you start with the crowned codes, the 11-day free coronation, or you go to crown activation, or you feel like I want to love human and I want to win and I want to charge for my gift, for my magic. Then you want to be in zero views fully crowned, or you want to be in crown activation. If you want to collapse the crown coronation, the 11th day into one day that you keep practicing every single day, go to crown activation. But you decide where you get to be. You choose. But start somewhere. Start somewhere, you deserve it. I'll see you tomorrow for more. Sorry for the next episode. I think 17 or 18, I can't remember, of the Shireen's Anyway series. Either way, I'll see you tomorrow. I had so much fun being here today. Today was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I'm gonna go now. This was 45 minutes of pure teaching. Actually, I think I have some Bible verses I wanted to share with you. So today's Bible verse is, let me see. Yes, so Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Do not despise these small things. Do not despise these small things. For the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Wow.